John Anderson? Oh, no, he's out this week, so he's not here. So you can start with him now.
Okay, welcome everybody. Good to see you. Hope you've had a good day, beautiful day. We'll get started by the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'm going to ask John Campbell if he would lead us in the pledge. But first of all, we will have the Lord's Prayer, so let's all stand. Lord's Prayer. Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hughes. Commissioner Mosier.
Here.
Commissioner Richardson.
Here.
Commissioner West.
Here.
Commissioner Stockton.
Here. You've had the minutes in your packet for March. I hope you've had a chance to look over those and read them. I hear a motion to accept.
Make a motion.
Sorry. Motion's been made and second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise, motion does carry. The recorder has a report on distributions for February. Jessica?
In the general fund, you'll see a $5,000 annual appropriation to the Boys and Girls Club of the Ecoe region for the Sweetwater branch. Further down, you see our health insurance with Cigna, the employee and the employer portions, $51,667.69. Page 2 in the general fund, you'll see a $500 amount to Spencer Fame Bone McAllister. That was for the note where we issued debt for the police vehicles last month. Page 3, fuel gas billing for January 2022, $8,822. That of course includes the school system, which they reimburse their portion to us. The basement, we redid the flooring down there. It's been budgeted for 2 years out of buildings, but we were just now able to get to the project, so it's $9,946.13 to Miller's Wholesale Flooring. And page 4 is interesting. We voided a check, and I wanted to point out so you could see the two entries: $16,111 to Accessibility Professionals, and then also in the debit line you'll see $16,111. So those two wash each other out, because we voided that check. And then rebid that, as you'll remember, last month for a new wheelchair lift. Page 5, we paid Trustmark Bank debt payment $4,676.40. That's an RTML bond. Nothing really significant in State Street Aid or Drug Fund. In the Tourism Fund, there's some payments out of there. Josh Isaac, $300. Sweetwater High School, $200. That was for the Valentine's event that we did downtown. That came out of tourism funding for events. The library's report is in there, and I think Tanya's here if anybody has any questions for her. Solid waste, the garbage contract for the month was $22,254.30. And then we had a couple payments for landfill expenses. We mentioned this in the workshop, but they did increase our contract by the maximum that the contract allows, which is 4%. That's due to the fuel increase. And that was effective April 1st, so we'll see that increase in the April distributions. And no changes in the ECD fund, and that balance remaining there is dedicated for infrastructure expansion. Any questions?
Okay, thank you, Jessica. Richard Hill is here. He's our audit gentleman that comes once a year and gives us an update, and I have moved him up so that he can leave and get back to Knoxville. Richard, it's good to have you. And So I'll turn it over to you for our report.
Thank you. Happy to meet with you and present just a very brief overview of the audit. It's 215 pages. I'm going to summarize in about a minute and a half. So a clean audit opinion, which is good. That's the goal of every audit. So it means we didn't run into any significant issues during the course of our work. To focus just briefly on the funds that are under Jessica's office and under the school department, for the year, the total revenue is about $23.5 billion. And then this is for all the funds combined, both the funds to the recorder's office and school funds. And for the year, you had about $3.6 million more revenue than expenses, so that's good. And then the fund balance in task just has kind of a rule of thumb that you want to have at least 25% of your annual budget in fund balance, and in all your funds, you have more than that, which is good as well. In addition to those funds, this report includes the audit of the utilities funds, the electric, water, sewer, and gas. Those audits are actually done by another firm. They provide us a report we included into here. The highlight there would be the state law requires that each of those funds has more revenue than expense, and for the year they did. So all three of your utility funds are in compliance with state law there. In addition to looking at numbers, auditors look at internal control and compliance with laws and regulations, looking for recommendations for improvement, and we don't have any recommendations. So no findings. So clean opinion, no findings. The numbers, you have more revenue than expenses, a strong fund balance. So that's it in a nutshell. I can answer your questions from the board. Thank you.
Questions? Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
You can go home now. Go home. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. And that's good. I remember back in 2009, 2010, it didn't sound that good, did it? For the ones that was here at that time. That's correct. Jesse, you do a good job. I guess, can we give you credit for?
Not all of it. I get a lot of help.
That takes into consideration audits like that is commissioners, the department heads, the employees, girls out in front, everybody working together, makes good news for audits like this. And we thank you for that. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay. Next, we have some visitors with us today. And so we'll get started in our 2021 Distinguished Citizen of the Year Award. And what this is, back in 2009, I started this along with a committee that throughout the year there is people, and there's a lot of people that contribute to our community. There's no doubt about that. But every year we try to pick certain people that year after year give back to our community. And last year we was happy to present Buster and Billy Wayne. They should have been presented a long time before that, but we finally got to them. But tonight I want to present the distinguished to an entity, two of them really. The Sweetwater Hospital and to our first responders, our fire department, and our police department. We have been through 2 bad years. I mean, that's all there is to it. This pandemic has cost. It's cost me friends that I've had for years. And it was always good to know we had people at Sweetwater Hospital that was there. I know they were overworked, stretched to the limit, but they come through for us. And I think it has taught us as a city of Sweetwater how wonderful it is to have healthcare workers available. You've been on the front line. This was a global pandemic, and you've been on the front line for us, and still are on the front line for us. We are blessed here in Sweetwater, and I've said this to some of the places I go to give a little talk or something like that. Sweetwater Hospital is one of our prized possessions. I tell you, I talked to a lot of people that come to Sweetwater, that come to the city hall, and I want to know, why did you move to Sweetwater? What was the final entity that you chose Sweetwater? You'd be surprised at the people that would say because of your hospital. You know, I mean, that's pretty strong, and that's good. So we appreciate you. So would y'all come up, the one that's going to receive the plaque? Administrator, come on. We get a pretty picture in here. It's my privilege to see you. Introduce yourself so that people know who you are.
Audrey Hickory. I'm the physician practice manager. I was the CNO there for 23 years and been with the hospital 32 years.
This is great, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let everybody know this one.
Yes. My years. I'm Lucretia Allen, and I am the Chief Human Resource Officer, and I have been at Sweetwater Hospital for 38 years.
I'm Young McFadden, CEO of the hospital. Been here now 15 months. I love it.
So it's my privilege to give the Sweetwater Hospital Association in recognition of your leadership, your dedication, your superior contribution that you give to the city of Sweetwater and our community. And I want to present you all with the Distinguished Citizen of the Year. Share this with everybody up at the hospital, and please relate to them how much we appreciate what they do for the city of Sweetwater. There you go, sir. Let's get a picture right. Come over here, Earl.
Good to see you. I will.
I'd like to request the fire chief and police chief to come forward at this time. Represent the first responders from Sweetwater. As it's been said many times, I think we have wonderful department heads. They help control our money, they don't waste money. And we've got two here that I think are the best. Our police chief, Eddie, how long have you been?
Been chief for 21 years.
41 years. John, you've been in the fire department?
25 years.
25 years. And they do a wonderful job. They take their job seriously. And during this pandemic, they really put themselves on, along with their being on the line. When you got people out of bed, you put them back in bed. I don't have to tell Eddie what some of his people have gone through. Did anybody escape the pandemic?
It's been everywhere.
Been everywhere.
Fire department, all the other city departments.
Yeah, it's been everywhere. I thought I missed it until about 3 months ago when I got it. It's one of them things I hope we never have to go. Is it under control at the hospital now?
Right
Yeah.
now.
At the moment?
At the moment, we're breathing. We appreciate all their support. They were absolutely both departments.
Gentlemen, to represent the group of people who have chosen each day to put yourself in harm's way and to help others. During the pandemic, you spent time each day going to homes, dealing with people, helping people. You exposed yourself, not only yourself, but your family, to this awful pandemic that we have all seen what can happen. And we, myself and the commissioners, we can't thank you enough for your unselfish action you provided for our community. And present to you guys. You can share it, hang it in your office. As a matter of fact, we'll have another one made, maybe, just like this. You can put it in your office and share it down the road for 2021, our Distinguished Citizen of the Year to our first responders. Come over here, John.
1, 2, 3. Get one more. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. And we do appreciate it very much, what y'all do on a daily basis. I want you, hospital, police, fire, first responders, to always remember that. We appreciate you. We have no old business, so in new business, the Liquor Committee has reviewed the application for a wine and grocery store at Weigel's. You may remember we previously approved this application, but it had not been implemented and the approval did expire. So a new application was submitted. Eddie, you got any remarks on
Yeah, it
this?
meets all the requirements.
Okay. Is there a motion to accept this application?
I'll make the motion.
Are there any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed likewise, motion does carry. We have a request from City Attorney John Cleveland to table this ordinance number 998, updating the building codes until he's had time to review it and talk with the contracted building official at the time. So we're going to put this off until May, if it's okay. What this is updating the ISO and make sure, am I right on that, John? It's just make sure everything is in place as we go forward. Going to be a lot of building and a lot of things been going on, and we want to make sure we're in compliance with every move.
That's correct. Just updating to the 2018 building code to stay in line with the state, and also to improve our ISO rating. But John did want to take a look at that to see if anything needed to be tweaked prior to approval.
Okay. All right, so we'll table that until next month. If don't have it next month, we can go in June.
Yes.
Okay. We have ordinance number 999 to amend Title 10 on animal control. We discussed this with John in the workshop, if you'll remember. We had also discussed it with the codes and the dog catcher. Is there any, everybody clear on this? Everybody clear? Okay. So, is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion for approval of ordinance 999 for animal control on first reading.
Motion's been made on
Second.
ordinance 99. Second. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Commissioner Hughes,
Aye.
Commissioner Mosier,
Aye.
Commissioner Richardson,
Aye.
Commissioner West, Commissioner Stockton.
Motion carries. On the budget, you requested in the workshop a revision of the cost of living that was 3% to adjust to the matching Social Security, which is 5.9%. The draft is in front of you. Do you have any other changes or anything in the budget that we need to know about at the time so that we may, in the workshop vote, May the 2nd, discuss it in the workshop, and May the 2nd, will we have another chance for discussion before May the 2nd?
So you can discuss any of it tonight that you want to or make changes, and then again in our workshop April 25th, and then we'll have first reading in our May meeting.
Like we had had in the State Street aid under salt, you would put the $4,000 in that column on State Street aid.
Any other? You got yours cleared up, Lamar, for the, you play ground equipment and all that, everything's settled?
We got everything covered.
Okay, good deal. Okay, is anything else come before the board? Thank you again for being here, Sweetwater Hospital. Thank you, ISO, you guys. Appreciate it. Nothing else to be said. We are adjourned. Thank you for being here.